Thank you very much. Your Excellency, a very beloved Deputy Governor, the head of the public service, my colleagues in council, fellow commissioners who are here, top government functionaries, my very good friends on the other side, members of the press, ably led by the chairman of the NUJ. A very good morning to you all. We're here again for what has now become like a ritual, the monthly transparency briefing. And we've been doing this now for the past 6 years. And I dare say that we're the only government in Nigeria that is doing this. I think for that singular reason, we should put our hands together for the restoration. Sometimes we take for granted some of the very noble initiatives that this government has put forward. Like, we're also taking for granted today the reforms agenda. Unknown to most Bayelsans, we have achieved so much in our effort to reform these, some of the abnormalities in the civil service. And what most people don't know is that if we don't do this, then we stand the risk of perhaps not having a state in the near future. And I say God forbid. God forbid in so many respects. Our world today is very dynamic. Society is moving at a very fast pace. People think that we are so wealthy. Yes, we are. But we're not exploring or harnessing half of the opportunities or the potentials that we have as a state. But if we must do that, we must do a proper clean house, which is what we're doing with the reforms. And it is our responsibility, every one of us who are here, particularly the media, to engage and enlighten our people. A number of the things that we have seen in the course of these reforms are very, very disturbing. But again, we're a government. And so to a large extent, we are concerned about ensuring that even while we are insisting on doing the right things, we don't want to throw people out to the job market. That's why we're doing what we're doing. We're providing human face to most of the challenges that we have noticed. It is sad to think that there are a number of people who are in the public service and they're not doing anything. And they got in the public service with fake certificates. A number of them have, falsified their ages over and over again. A number of abnormalities. You'll be surprised at the reports. But today, what we're concerned about as a state government is to ensure that we have a Bayelsa at the end of the day that we all will be proud of. Because come in the next 5 years, the world may not have need for our oil. The reason being that most advanced countries now, most of their cars are driven by electric. God forbid that day will come. We will go to Abuja like we've always done to ask for FAC, and they will declare to us that there is nothing to take home. I wonder what will happen to us, because I can't imagine that we're still doing 4 billion in terms of monthly salary in Bayelsa. We're even doing much more than some of the bigger states in terms of our wage bill. That is not sustainable. So we need everybody's hand to be on deck. People tend to just say, oh, it's government, and hoping that maybe when we leave, the next government will go back to status quo. Those of you who are thinking that way, because I know that we are live on radio, I don't want us to come to a point where we will have no state to call our own. So it is better we swallow the bitter pill, because you need bitter pill to solve a disturbing headache. You have to take the chloroquine to address that malaria. So let's swallow the bitter pill today so that we can safeguard the future for our children, the ones yet unborn. I believe very strongly that most Bayelsans who claim that they are in the public service can do better outside the public service. A number of them who are resisting the change that it is so clear that we have to carry out they can function effectively, make more money as entrepreneurs. And the government is making sure that we provide that. So there will be soft landing. If you're asked to leave the system because of one infraction or breach on your part, and we're not prosecuting you so you can go to jail, it's better to leave the system honorably. And government will provide the necessary soft landing for you, rather than fighting the system. The very same system that you have defrauded in the last, God knows how many years, for 22 years. I think we shouldn't be bemoaning our situation. I think the truth must be told. We're not getting it right. If we all sit back and do nothing about it, we all have to join government in this effort to sanitize the system. That is the only way we can make progress as a people and safeguard the future of our state. There will be more opportunities for us to engage, and we've been doing so in the last couple of months. So, but we need the understanding of members of the media, because more than anything else, you have the onerous responsibility of taking this message to our people. A number of them they're not well informed. So it is our responsibility to ensure that they are well informed. And my office is wide open. We will make all the information available to you so that you can properly inform our people on the need for us to have this reform, so that we can at least be sure that we are going to bequeath a state that we all will be proud of. It's on this note I want to welcome you all, and at the same time urge us to listen attentively and report this event accurately, as you've always done. And as always, we will partner with you to ensure that we move our state forward. Thank you, and God bless you.
The Deputy Chief of Staff, Office of the Deputy Governor, Special Advisor, Treasury, Revenue and Accounts, other distinguished members of the state administration, members of the press, boards of NUJ, and others that have been partners in this restoration administration. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you all. Well, I'm happy that the Commissioner for Information introduced not only the subject for the day, and also gave explanation on certain topical issues I think agitating the minds of Bayelsans this recent time. In the course of my discussion, I may also seize the opportunity to offer more explanation on actions of government, intention of government, and how far we are going. But today, first thing first, Bayelsa State's government income and expenditure reports as at the 30th of April 2018. 30th of April 2018. First, the inflow from FAC statutory allocation, 2,632,017,388 naira 5 kobo. Derivation 9,268,209,315 naira 28 kobo. VAT 741,380,102 naira 83 kobo. Excess bank charges 1,893,307,143 naira 97 kobo. Refund from other states 57,532,352 naira 43 kobo. Therefore, the gross inflow from FAC stood at 14 billion 592,446,302 naira 56 kobo. A bit of note, this shows a reduction from the previous month to the tune of 744,821,276 naira 92 kobo. Now the deductions, first line deductions. The first, the bond deduction, which stood at 421,543,663 naira 22 kobo. Foreign loans to states recovery 21,964,760 naira 70 kobo. Restructured refund of overpayment of revised derivation indices 128,368,950 naira 47 kobo. Again, refund of arrears of 13 derivation to some other states, Akwa Ibom State, in respect of the Kanga oil field 33,004,234 naira 17 kobo. Commercial Agricultural Credit Scheme 1 refund 79,457,424 naira 93 kobo. Commercial Agricultural Credit Scheme 2 refund 66,666,666 naira 66 kobo. Excess crude account loan facility to states 100 and 26,675,773 naira 75 kobo. Salary bailout to local governments, 25 of 120 installments, 16,279,000 10 naira 57 kobo. Restructured commercial bank loans, 741,156,852 naira 48 kobo. Therefore, the total first line deductions from FAC stood at 1,643,120,336 naira 95 kobo. Net inflow from FAC then stood at 12,945,965 naira 61 kobo. Other receipts. First, IGR for the month of March 2018, 1,245,152,597 naira 86 kobo. Refund from local government bailouts, 16,279,000 10 naira 57 kobo. Other reforms, 1 billion. Funds from other sources, 500 million. Total funds available for the month, therefore, was 15 billion 710 million 757,574 naira 4 kobo. Now to outflow. First, on the outflow, bank loans, so contractual agreements, guarantees, rather, bank loans, contractual guarantees, 1 billion 788 million 858,131 naira 6 kobo. Salaries, civil servants, April, 2 billion 905 million 980,000 215 naira 33 kobo. Salaries for political appointees, 346 million 308,000 702 naira 97 kobo. Salary grants, tertiary institutions, 906 million naira. Now, let me just explain a bit of this, which is different from what happened last month. There are certain arrears that were paid, or certain amounts that were paid to some of the non-academic staff that were identified as not required for the efficient functioning of the tertiary institutions, and it involves all tertiary institutions. And there is a condition that before such people could be disengaged, that we pay 3 months' salary in lieu of notice. In the case of the civil service, the rule says 1 month notice. In the case of the tertiary institutions, their rule says 3 months, so that money was released to them. That is why you get increase of normal 360 we used to have to 900. Now, we're also paying some part of the salary of teachers to primary school, about 10% of the cost or the fund for primary schools is being contributed by the state level. But the 10% contribution to primary school teachers' salary, and they stood at 46,210,467 naira 94 kobo. Other bank charges, 12,500,000. Provision for cost of IGR collection, 88,209,061 naira 15 kobo. COT provision, 130,385,354 naira 11 kobo. Therefore, total payment stood at 6,224,451,932 naira 56 kobo. So the balance of fact and other received before capital and recurrent payment, therefore, was 9,486,305,641 naira 48 kobo. Now, for the month of April, recurrent payment stood at 2,792,006,000 naira. Capital payments, 6,932,070 naira 79 kobo. So the balance after capital and recurrent payment was 77 million 367 thousand 570 naira 69 kobo. Now there was a balance carry over from the previous month, and that stood at 7 billion 575 million 775,000 52 naira 38 kobo. Therefore, balance at the end of the month, which is the sum of the balance carried over and balance after payment of current and expenditure, after recurrent and capital payments, stood at 7 billion 653 million 142,623 naira 7 kobo. That is the statement of income and expenditure report as at the 30th of April 2018. Thank you very much for listening. If there are observations, you raise it. Let me clear that before I go to other issues. Thank you very much.
Mr. Dick, I work for National Investigator newspaper. My question is a straight one. There is this Bayelsa oil company. As regards IGR, what is the state getting from this company on a monthly basis? We also know that the state has assets in Lagos, in Abuja, and other parts of the country. What is the state getting as IGR from these assets?
But it's a suggestion. It would be nice if the government will specify how much is given to each of the tertiary institutions in terms of the subvention that the state government is paying out to these institutions. Thank you.
Excellency, you are a good man, sir. If we look at the salaries of civil servants, for what I got as revealed as nearly 3 billion. I don't know whether it's as a result of the subvention that that salary has gone down to that level, or the verification exercise has brought it down this low. I want to thank you.
Press and others present, I think the question that I'm to address will be directed by the Deputy Governor. Like, if I get it right, I think somebody asked that the IGR was announced, but the sources were not noted. As usual, the sources of the total IGR that were announced includes all IGR from both the Board of Internal Revenue and other MDAs that are generating revenue. All of that is included, but specifically the ones that much more money are generated on a monthly basis are the pay as you earn from the state workers, the pay as you earn from others like the banks and companies that are in the states. We also generate revenues from the withholding taxes from jobs, because withholding taxes on jobs done on Bayelsa contracts, enterprises and others. We generate revenues from them. We also generate revenues from what we call the Bayelsa Infrastructure Development Fund, bill, and then we still also make some other little revenues from some other MGs. These are the major sources of our IJR that came to the 1.2 billion that was announced. Thank you.
It's okay. An issue was raised about the Bayelsa Oil Company, whether we have started getting some dividend from it. I am also very, very interested in it. One of the reasons for acquiring or having interest in all these oil facilities is to boost our IGR. The target of government is to get to a stage where business salary should be taken care of by IGR. We are not there yet. Still fluctuating, but at least we've made some reasonable improvement from about 60 million. Now we are recording 1.something billion. Still growing, we're expecting. Bayelsa Oil Company has not actually started returning money to government coffers. The last time that they got oil, I think I had to personally intervene for them to get the necessary permits to actually even get the oil to the loading point. It is quite a complicated thing. But you have to have some runs for them to, but everything that is sunk cost, you have spent money, but you have to actually also take care of that money first. So the prospects are there, because I am aware that they have loaded ones. They were also trying to look for the permits. We are working for it so that the process will be even smoother, because if you even get into your barges, we haven't got the clearance, you cannot get the oil to the loading terminal. These are things we are working on, but at the moment, we haven't started actually getting any money from them. Other sources, IGR, he has mentioned subvention to tertiary institutions. I'll just read out for you. NDU 350 million, COE 100 million, Health Technology 40 million, Library Polytechnic 50 million, University of Africa 75 million. Like that, this are the standing subvention that government pays every month to them. Now we're talking about the number of people affected at NDU. If I may remind you or remind all of us, we have been on this for more than 2 years now. One committee after committee. In fact, this reform that you are talking about, we have well over 16 subcommittees. It's a very, very serious business. 16 subcommittees looking at various aspects of the public service, the entire public service. That is why it is taking a very long time to be able to get all the reports of subcommittees and bring it out and make a coherent piece of, so that people can understand why decisions have been arrived at certain level. These various committees have recommended certain optimal manning or staff schedule for all the establishments, and this has worked out by experienced experts. Most of it, particularly for this manning or staff requirements, not worked out by government people here. Best practices were followed to ensure that university can run at optimum performance in terms of personnel requirement, and facilities as well. So the number that we are actually talking about does not involve only NDU. The number involves all the other establishments that I have mentioned to you. Health technology, college education and library, and mainly non-teaching staff. And that must be clearly understood. It is not something directed at one particular establishment. It is committee reports based on best practices and affect every tertiary institution that we have in this state to make sure that they function at optimal level, while we should be able to intervene the requirements, developing the facilities to make sure that quality service delivery is rendered to our children, who should be able to compete favorably when they live here. The exact number, like I said, I don't know yet. I can't get off it, I didn't come with the figures, but this will all be made known to the public at the appropriate time. Even now, when we live here, we are meeting. We are going to meet and discuss and further refine. But let me just tell you some of the difficulties that we are having. It is like the more you look, more problems you encounter. Once you investigate an aspect, you ask for more time. That's what has been happening. The latest one that we are interested in now is on the aspect of salary grades falsification. People buy salary. In fact, it's the most difficult one that we are now facing. Normal public service rule states if you are on level 7, step 5, step 6, over step 6, and you are promoted. When you go to level 8, you don't go to level 8, step 1. But at the same time, you don't go to level 8 and go to step 8. You are not to receive less than what you are receiving before you are promoted. The next level, the amount corresponding to the next level on the next step is where you go to. Next, that's where you just go to. But what we've seen in Bayelsa State, we just discovered it. When you are promoted, you are in level 7, step 8. When you are promoted, you go to step 8, level 8, step 9. You promote yourself on the step, you promote yourself also on the level. Some people should not be standing here because people, we are not looking at all these things, and if we are to actually look at all those involved, I think we have to recruit more people in this Bayelsa public service. We are not going to all that, but we will take our time to clean it up. We will take our time to clean it up. If you deserve something, you will get it. If you go by fraudulent means of getting somewhere, nobody is going to give you that. It is happening not only here, even at the federal level, they are cleaning it up. Every state government is doing it. And this government is clearly determined not only to do that. At the end of this exercise, the entire system will be computerized. At the end of this exercise, the entire system will be computerized. If you falsify a step, it will show. And if you go and destroy one particular set, let me tell you, the arrangement we are making, we have 3 locations for that information. So if you go and falsify one, you have to find a way of falsifying the other 2 also, including maybe to the governor's office, to make sure that you have access to do that. We have no choice. You see, funding is a very, very difficult thing in this state, in this country now. Recall that last month, and between last month, March and April, the income reduced by over 700 million. The income, and it is still further threatening. And the strange thing about this reduction at the federal level is that the accruals to the Federation accounts have defied all mathematical predictions. You cannot calculate it here, sitting here. Ordinarily, we should expect. If oil prices increase, the quantity increase, Naira is devalued. There is just no justification that we have sufficient Naira to pay salaries. All indicators are increasing, the money coming to us reducing. All indicators are increasing, the money. That is why for the last meetings that we have had at the federal level for the FAC allocation, they couldn't hold the meeting. The governors decided that they should be part of those calculating that money now. Because why is it that conditions are improving, money is reducing? What happens at that level, you and I cannot know. But all that you hear federal government say, between this time and this period, we have given this much money to the states. I think the Vice President said recently, they will never say how much they have got, and they will not tell us that they take loan that is beyond even that one they got. These are facts, nobody falsifying anything. They have authority to take loan. All that they do is to stay at Abuja and incite citizens against their states. That can't work. At the time, federal government was borrowing 80 billion a month to pay salaries. 80 billion. Facts are there, not that I'm guessing. I can bring next meeting figure to show you. It is not easy. But they will not say those ones outside. They say, we are giving the states so much money. Why are they downsizing? Gentlemen, it's not as easy as that. This government will be as fair as possible to all of us. But above all, we are to be fair to the states. We have taken an oath to serve these states to the best of our ability. And if trying to downsize, if occupation demands that we have to remove certain people, all that we need to do is to ensure that the environment is made conducive for them to shift their labor from one area to another. At the end, what this country is trying to do is to compute the GDP of every state. It's production that we're after now, not those that are earning salary from government. This already calculated by the time you come from FAC, you already know how much you are getting. One of the hidden aspects that is not explained to people, which is difficult for people to understand at this level, is to see how we can actually open up the space within the country, within the state, so that people can engage in more meaningful ventures to create wealth. We must create wealth, we must compete. There are some countries, when they compute the GDPs, they now classify them. Some backward states, some moderate states, some advanced states. I wouldn't want a Bayelsa that would be classified as a backward state because we cannot grow GDP. Salary is not an issue for GDP. We have created a lot of opportunities. We are not going to force people to take them, but options will be open to people. If you are going, these are the options you have. And please, if it is a loan, it will be a loan, it's not a gift. It's to encourage you, train you to utilize whatever fund we made available for you to create wealth and to be able to live a meaningful life that will not be a nuisance to others. Any person that lives here, we are aware, we are the people that will be involved in sustaining them. We know. I know how many people in my family have come to me. How many will still come to me at the end of this exercise? It's the right thing to do, and government is determined to do it. all that we want to ensure is that we should be fair to everyone. We should be fair to everyone and provide as much as possible the necessary assistance for people to settle down if they have to leave. But leaving, some people will have to leave. And then the space will open up. Then the young men that have been lying down there for almost 10 years, graduating without being employed, will now come into the system. Introduce more vibrancy into the system, and they should now be monitored. Employment will be done in a very regular way. Records will be kept, and make it totally impossible for the young men that will come to the system to go about falsifying documents and running faster than what their legs can actually afford them to do without going to Olympics. So, gentlemen, the government is not out to punish anybody, but in any form of change, there will be those that will gain, there will be those that may suffer some loss. I would prefer our youth with so much energy on the roads, graduating without hope, graduating without thinking of what they will do. I know some of them, they will find it difficult to marry now because they are not working. We want even our population to be boosted by this process. When the young ones marry, there are more gains to us also. But the important thing is to get some people to land in a very, very conducive way and then absorb more so that the system is more vibrant. They have hope for the young men that are coming. I feel I just mentioned that one to you. The process has not finished. It is ongoing. We have been very, very careful. We are not rushing any step. If any story comes that we've done certain things, try and clarify from my office directly. I know where to direct you to if information or if conclusion has been reached in certain aspects. But before then, apart from what I've heard from NDU, I don't think NDU and other tertiary institutions, because it involves all. Government has not taken any step against those who have not committed an offense. But even for those who committed offense, and the governor has been magnanimous enough to ensure that they will not be sanctioned. The Bayelsans, they work for us. If not, some are supposed to just leave. Some are supposed to just leave, but they're just saying, okay, it's a general reform. Let's not look at all those infractions. Give them a second opportunity to go on with life. So that should be fair enough, and that should also be reported as we are going along. But above all, we are looking for the good of Bayelsa. We also know that we are also looking for the good of Bayelsa. Nobody comes to government with the aim of punishing people. We are all working for the happiness of everyone, even if we don't have a commissioner for happiness. At the same time, we are all commissioners for happiness, because that is what we stand for. So, gentlemen, please let's not escalate. We know it is very, very tricky. Striking a balance under this condition may not appear to be that simple, but at the same time, the intention must be well understood. The government intention must be well understood, and if you do that, then the reporting along that line will become easier for all of us. So once again, thank you very much for coming as usual.